Credit Suisse was one of the most respected banks in the world. A 167-year-old Swiss institution trusted with billions, known for privacy, stability, and global power. But in 2023, it collapsed. Not from a single scandal or one bad investment, but from years of quiet cracks in its foundation. It started with Greensill, a supply chain finance firm they backed heavily. When it imploded, Credit Suisse lost billions. Then came Archegos, another risky client. Then another major loss. Then came spy scandals, executives resigning, and overall the trust faded. In 1 week, clients pulled $10 billion. The entire bank was sold to UBS in a panic deal for pennies on the dollar. But here's the truth, Credit Suisse didn't fall overnight. It failed slowly because no one was checking the system. And that's the warning, not just for banks, but for personal injury law firms. So the collapse of Credit Suisse ties into personal injury law firms because they both share an illusion of stability. From the outside looking in, Credit Suisse looked stable. They had strong branding, strong reputation, they managed billions, they had offices, employees, and overall, they looked stable. But for many years, their systems were cracking until 2023 when everything collapsed. Most personal injury law firms are the same. From the outside looking in, they have strong branding, they have a cool website, they run ads, they get referrals, but underneath, their foundation is also weak because they have missed calls after 5 p.m., they have voicemail overflow, leads are not qualified properly, there's delays in follow-up or retainer, and leads are falling into a black hole after consults. So if a high value case calls at 6:47 p.m., but your law firm closed at 5:30 and you don't have a proper infrastructure set up in place to handle after office hours calls, then essentially you just lost that lead because that lead will go straight to voicemail and then you have to wait till the next morning to call them back. And by that time you call them back, the lead has gone cold, has gone back to Google, searched up the next competitor, called them up, and guess what? That competitor answered the call and they have a high chance of converting that lead into a paying client. Now multiply that by 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, that's over 100K in revenue lost simply because you don't have a proper infrastructure to handle the after office hours calls. And the reason why personal injury law firms don't notice these cracks right away is because the problem doesn't explode, it erodes over time. Think about it, intake gaps are not dramatic, they are slow and quiet. Because if a lead fills out a contact form on your website, but they don't hear back from you till the next morning, that lead has gone cold. And guess what? They have gone back to Google and called your competitor. If you don't have a way to efficiently qualify each and every single lead that comes into your pipeline, then that's another intake gap that again, slowly and surely over time becomes bigger and bigger and bigger because the more leads that come into your pipeline, the bigger the gap of missed opportunities that you might not have noticed simply because again, it's not loud, it's silent. These cracks compound over time, just like how Credit Suisse over the span of many years, they have slowly been eroding until 2023 when everything collapsed. Something inside personal injury law firms that seem harmless, but slowly and surely erodes the trust between potential clients and your law firm is slow follow-up. Because if a lead calls you, they are in pain. They want your attention. But if they call you and you either don't answer or you do answer but you take forever to follow up with them, then they feel like you don't care about them. It seems harmless that it takes you an hour or two to not follow up with the lead as soon as possible or even consistently, but over time and through volume, the many leads that you get, it compounds. 100 leads come in and you only are able to convert 10 or 20 of them. That's still 80 to 90% of the leads missed simply because you don't have an infrastructure to handle all the leads in an efficient way. Staff burnout contributes to the hidden cracks inside personal injury law firms because burnout doesn't just hurt the team, it hurts the whole infrastructure. If staff members are burnt out, that means they don't have the energy to focus on potential clients, yet alone the actual clients you have in your firm. So if the leads are slipping through the cracks, how much does it actually cost your personal injury law firm? And to answer that question, it simply depends on the case value, right? If it's like soft tissue or like, slight bruising or something like that, then your contingency fee is obviously low. But if it's a TBI or a truck involved collision, then the case is much more valuable because the amount of money you're winning for the client, take out your contingency fee, even if it's 25% of 3 million, that's a lot of money. So let's walk through this example, right? A lead calls your firm, but nobody answers. They get straight to voicemail, right? That lead had a legitimate claim that could have been worth thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars. And you missed that lead simply because you don't have an infrastructure to handle the leads coming into your law firm, whether it's during office hours or after office hours. So now multiply that by 2, 3, 4, 10x. 10 leads that you missed simply because you don't have the infrastructure. That's millions of dollars in revenue missed. So let's expand on this a little bit further. Number one, how many leads are you actually getting in a single month? Number two, how many of those leads are being answered live and how many are sent to voicemail? Number three, how many actually make it inside your CRM versus actually signing? And number four, where are leads actually falling off? Is it during intake or after the initial consults where they haven't signed a retainer yet? Most personal injury law firms don't track this, which is exactly why these leaks stay hidden. The breakdowns will start compounding, meaning staff will get overworked and stressed, intake gets sloppy, follow-ups fall through, the firm starts reacting instead of leading. And during that time, reputation takes small hits because, again, the more you don't answer your calls, the more you don't follow up with leads consistently, the less trust you're pulling away from the market, because now they're going to spread the negative word of mouth. Let's say, for example, they have family members. They're going to tell them, if you have any problems, don't call this law firm because I called them and they never called me back. Or I called them, they sent me to voicemail, and then I had to wait 24 hours to hear I'll call back. And one day, as a personal injury law firm owner, you're going to wake up and realize that you're leaking growth and you never know where it's coming from. So what should personal injury law firms take away from the fall of Credit Suisse? And to answer that question, I want you to think of this exact sentence that I'm about to say. If a 167-year-old bank with billions in trust can fall from small leaks, your law firm isn't immune either. You don't need a huge scandal in your law firm to lose everything. It all starts with the small cracks that compound over time. If your plan is to grow your personal injury law firm for the next 10, 20, 30 years, then of course there are going to be cracks that come up along the way. It's your responsibility to, one, be aware of where exactly those leaks are and then patch them up before they compound over time. Just like Credit Suisse, again, they didn't fail in just one time because of one specific reason. They failed because of the small cracks that happened along the way that got bigger and bigger as time went along. And then eventually in 2023, everything collapsed and they were sold to UBS for pennies on the dollar. And the other thing I want you to truly understand out of all of this is that infrastructure matters. Because the way you used to run your law firm back in the day, or the systems that you had back in the day, won't cut it in 2025. You need to upgrade that infrastructure. With things like AI and new legal tech coming out, law firms are building competitive edges because they're adapting to new things that are coming out in 2025 and onwards. Right? So if you're stuck being scared of AI and technology and adapting your infrastructure, guess what? You're actively ignoring your cracks that are gonna compound over time. Your competitor down the street is gonna adapt to AI that will answer all the calls after hours using AI voice assistants and qualify them and schedule appointments for them faster than you. And the last thing I want you to take away from all of this is that what you don't see is what will cost you the most.